Good afternoon. My name is Maurice Cooley. I'm one of the vice presidents and I'm the dean of students at Marshall University. I've been here almost 20 years. I'm looking forward to springtime coming, and today is early in the month of March. I'm looking forward to new weather and a new day. I'm here at this moment, and I'm going to give you an overview of the annual Intercultural Student Scholars Experience, what the program would consist of today. And I'm going to talk about some really important points that I'd like you to keep track of because I think they will be relevant to you later, particularly if you are considering at some point to attend Marshall. I will begin by saying that this experience that's called the Annual Intercultural Student Scholarship Experience has been going on for more than 20 years. Actually, it started many, many years ago as the annual Outstanding Black High School Students Scholarship Experience. But about 7 years ago, we included all students of color in the group and also certainly biracial students. We typically have the Intercultural Scholars Experience during the first Friday and Saturday of the month of November each and every year. However, your lives and my life and the university's life and the life in your own high schools was severely altered as a result of the COVID pandemic. And so consequently at Marshall, we did not have our event this past November. So we're having the virtual experience today. And hopefully we have captured most of the salient aspects of what we would like to expose you to in this roughly 90 minutes presentation. It seems long, but it's pretty well done, and I think it should draw your attention from the time you began until the ending remarks. The intercultural experience that we're having today is primarily to introduce the highest performing minority students of color and biracial students among all of the high schools of West Virginia and our nearby high schools of Kentucky and Ohio to one of the best colleges and the best colleges experience in America. I will no longer keep it a secret that, in fact, Marshall is. I must say before I move on that I realize that at this age and the way that things are going on in our society, that students of color, and to include biracial students, you must be careful. You must be particular about a place for you to choose to study for the next 4 to 5 or 6 years for your bachelor's and master's degree, if that's what you should choose to do. I would suggest that you find a place that fits you, but you also want to find a place that is safe based on who you are, a place that will embrace you, a place that will nurture you and respect you and will allow you to grow, to maximize or even advance your possibilities. And Marshall University, I'm here to tell you, is one of those places. Through the annual Intercultural Student Scholars Experience each year at Marshall, it is the primary way, if we look at a singular initiative, that every year attracts the largest number of minority academically advanced scholars each year that comes to Marshall. And they mostly all graduate with major degrees, most of which go on to graduate schools and professional schools and obtain their doctorate degrees. Each one of the students who are juniors and seniors that are watching today, you were all selected by your high schools and you were referred to us to invite you to this event. Only the students with the highest cumulative GPAs, juniors and seniors, minority students, were invited. Consequently, by your attending today's event, you would have met 2 of the prerequisites to obtain a 4-year Intercultural Student Scholars Scholarship. You were selected by your high school, and you attended this event. The other two requirements are if upon your graduation from high school with a minimum cumulative GPA of a 3.3 or greater, or an ACT score of 20 and a corresponding SAT score, you would have met the requirements for a four-year scholarship that you will receive your freshman year, of course, that is renewable each year upon meeting certain grade requirements and obtaining certain credits which are within the norm. So this should give some incentive for listening to our experience today, and you can verify your attendance. And then through this verification, we will be able to correspond with each one of you, and then you will be on our list to look out for that's coming to Marshall. I know that we have seniors watching today, and we have juniors watching today. So your seniors will be on our watch list for this coming spring for admission to the fall, as was juniors who attended last year. Today's program will consist of you meeting our president of Marshall, Dr. Jerome Gilbert. You will also go on roughly a 12 or 13 minute, pretty active virtual campus tour that I think should be very interesting to you. You will also participate in a roughly 30-minute activity. It's an engaging activity that students in high school would have with our university students here. And then there will be a parents informational track with some of the critical things that parents perhaps may be interested in, such as the FAFSA, admission, tuition, financial aid, and those kinds of things. Everything is pretty well composed within this 90 minutes. And I look forward to your enjoyment for this experience. But I'd like to note, please note that when you finish watching today's virtual experience, in your letter, hopefully that you have received, if you have not, I want you to note this. And it says, after viewing of this virtual experience, go to, this is a website, I want you to write it down, www.marshall.edu/intercultural. You will go to forms, and then you will see one of the forms that will drop down that is called the Intercultural Student Scholars Experience Attendance Verification Form. You go to that form, since we will not see you in live today, you will go to that form as soon as you have completed this, or within the next couple of days, to say that I attended this event on this day. And in that way, we will be able to keep track of each one of you and being able to maintain the appropriate correspondence. And I look forward to that. And at this time, it is my honor, indeed, to introduce to you one of the fabulous and most sophisticated and advanced presidents of any college or university in America, my friend and our president, Dr. Jerome Gilbert.
Greetings, I'm Jerry Gilbert, president of Marshall University, and I want to welcome you to the Intercultural Weekend here at Marshall. This year, we're doing it in a virtual fashion to keep everyone safe and healthy. Now, I know that you understand that. I want to let you know that diversity is important to me. It's important to all members of our university. It's something that adds to the richness and the experience of everyone that's here. We believe in diversity. I personally believe in diversity, and I talk about it often on our campus. I think you're going to find that Marshall is a very welcoming place where everyone is treated with respect and that everyone feels welcome. We're many different things to people. We have international students here. We have students from different cultures, different ethnicities, different religions, different sexual orientations. But one thing is in common to all of us, and that is we're all part of the Marshall family. I hope that you will consider joining us and becoming part of our family. So welcome to the campus. I hope you have a great experience. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Maurice Cooley. As a former graduate and dean of students, along with all of our faculty, staff, and president, Dr. Jerome Gilbert, I am delighted to bring you and your entire family closer into the look and personality of one of the best universities in the country. So for the next few minutes, through this video tour of Marshall Campus and Culture, you will discover amazing things about our family, our diversity, our uniqueness, and why Marshall should be considered above many others as your choice of universities for which to establish your major, obtain a lofty degree, and prepare yourself for great things to happen. Before we start, let's set the stage. Marshall University is located in a very old historical college town of Huntington, West Virginia. Socially friendly, safe, fairly diverse, with residents and professionals from all over the world, with beautiful parks, art and culture centers, lots of shops and restaurants, and beautiful recreation areas. Marshall and Huntington both sit right on the Ohio River. And we are about 50 minutes from Charleston, the state capital, and roughly 2 to 3 hours from Lexington, Kentucky, Cincinnati, and Columbus, Ohio, for occasional weekend outlets when desired. Huntington's population is nearly 50,000. In our metro area, there is approximately 365,000 people. In Huntington, 14% of our residents are racial minorities, whose makeup is that of chiefly African Americans. Now you will meet 4 of our university scholars who will take you through the journey of our campus and culture. I hope you enjoy it, and I'm sure that you will.
I'm Isabella Robinson, a sophomore broadcast major in the Honors College. I'm also a member of the Society of Black Scholars, and I serve as the College of Arts and Media student senator in the School Student Government Association as the Senate historian. I'm going to be talking to you about our school's academics and taking you on a short journey through our academic resources and supports that are available. Marshall University was founded in 1837 and named for John Marshall, the 4th Chief Justice of the United States. We have over 91,000 alumni and a current enrollment of nearly 13,000 students from around the entire globe, including nearly 1,500 minority students, chiefly Black or African American, and with a good number from African, Asian, and European countries. Our undergraduate faculty to student ratio is a low 18-1. At first glance, our impeccable, clean, and gorgeous campus looks large, but it really is not, considering that it is just a few minutes walk to most places on campus and rarely ever having to cross a single street. Our campus is flat, with lots of attractive social and play spaces, mostly all laid out in one beautiful rectangle of land with lots of charm. First, I will introduce you to academics, as we call it. If you are looking for a university that offers most of the prominent majors that college and universities can possibly offer, look no further. Did you know that Marshall offers 57 bachelor and 52 master's degrees? You can surely find your major in one of our award-winning colleges. These include colleges of arts and media, business, education, engineering and computer science, health professions, and the College of Liberal Arts. But it doesn't stop there. You can continue your education with one of our professional degrees where you can earn a physician assistant's degree or doctorate degrees. For instance, in medicine, pharmacy, business, biomedical research, physical therapy, nursing, and more. But don't take my word for it. Check out our website for all of our colleges and more. Let's move on, and I will be honest. Few universities can match the quality and range of academic supports that are available to Marshall students, and this is so important. Your success as a college student will be greater if you have resources and dedicated people to help you with things that you may want to excel in. I wish I could tell you about all of them, but there are so many. In addition to tutoring by student scholars on just about any subject, we have an awesome freshman advising program, specialized math and writing tutoring labs, minority undergraduate research, study abroad planning, an impressive career development and internship department, and lots more. Of course, as your home away from home, we offer a modern campus bookstore with lots of cool stuff, and even with books on loan. Drinko and Moro libraries with a 24-hour study center, free student health services, town bus per transportation, a full range of counseling and psychological services, and even more personalized assistance by our staff in the Office of Advocacy and Student Support, right in the center of campus, and so much more. Oh yes, and you will definitely spend time in one of the most gorgeous and top recreation centers in the country, with everything that you can imagine and more. Keep in mind that our 24-hour security team is highly skilled and always on the task of keeping us all safe. So much is here. Again, these are just a few of the great amenities that we have for you. Our student handbook has the full range, and if you cannot locate a resource that you may need, our Office of Student Affairs will quickly assist. It is real easy.
I'm Mel Thomas, a pre-law student excited to be attending law school next year. I'm from Bluefield, West Virginia. I'm currently a brother of Alpha Sigma Phi and a former president. I'm also a senator for Student Government Association and currently Mr. Marshall. Before we conclude this introduction on Marshall, I realized that most things in university life should not only be intellectually challenging, but fun, free, and enjoyable. Marshall is the place to be in the arts, one would say. I mean, not only due to our fabulous art galleries on and off campus, but entertainment from hip hop to jazz studies, comedy, award-winning Broadway musicals, international film festivals, but even more. For instance, there are so many Playhouse Theater performances by theater, music, and voice majors. Actually, all students are all welcome to audition for favorite roles. On the intellectual side, professional scholars, scientists, world-class business and corporate leaders, historians, and more from around the globe come each year to lecture about the most interesting things to know and understand. It's just so powerful and free. Did you know that the Marshall Artist Series is one of the most recognized performance series in the country, brings world-class stage and theater productions in every semester by stars and celebrities in music, theater, and entertainment industries? You won't have to go to Broadway, London, or Paris. It is all here at Marshall. You will meet world-class figures, and here you will discover the most fascinating aspects about the world in which we live and things that you may have never imagined. You will definitely grow and become well-rounded. Marshall, this is the place to be.
I am Shakira Williams, a third-year pre-physical therapy major here at Marshall University from Miami, Florida. I am also Haitian American. I am also on the women's track and field team here at Marshall, as well as president of Black United Students. I'm going to be talking to you guys about diversity and what it is to Marshall and what it means to me. It is more than just black and white. It is way deeper than that. So here's the truth about diversity at Marshall University. At Marshall, with students from all over the world, we celebrate diversity every day. To include a large number of programs and events each semester, generally organized by our students. Such activities include our LGBTQ National Coming Out Day, Hispanic Heritage Month, annual Ebony Ball, lots of Black History Month activities, lavender graduation, donning of kente, and annual soul food feast, just to name a few. If programs aren't your thing, then there are tons of diverse and cultural-based clubs you can all join for free. Clubs such as Black United Students, Muslim students, Pan-African students, and Hispanic students, Japanese Club, Society of Black Scholars, and Native American Indian clubs are among our 200 plus clubs and organizations. If we do not have your club, you can just create one. By the way, come and visit us at our new Intercultural Center, which is in the hub for all things diverse for our entire campus community, adjacent to most campus dorms and cafes. As we move on to consider your living arrangements here on campus, if you are like me and most students, you will feel right at home in one of Marshall University's residence halls for undergraduate students, all centrally located and easily accessible to campus services, athletic facilities, stadiums, academic buildings, classes, recreation, and downtown Huntington. Of the 9 resident halls, I will comment on just a few. To start, we have 2 first-year resident halls that are co-ed by room and double occupancy, modern and with lots of extras. They look new. Marshall Commons, which is my favorite, is a set of 4 housing units that has a pretty cool living environment that includes suites, adjacent dining facilities, and courtyard spaces for chatting and socializing with your classmates. all campus housing is secure, and considering the fact that we have big appetites at times are within footsteps to over 12 different campuses dining options, all of which are rather classy. For instance, you may choose spacious dining facilities with large menu options daily while featuring ambience and design elements for privacy or group chat, or something more specialized. Whether it's Italian, Asian, or even 2 choices of Starbucks, it is just a lot and quite affordable for all of us.
My name is Cameron Donahue. I'm a major in political science and economics with a focus on pre-law. I'm from Ironton, Ohio, and I'm a sophomore at Marshall. Currently, I'm the president of Marshall's Interfraternal Council, a senator for our Student Government Association, and a resident advisor in one of our halls. You will soon find out that student life will be critical to your success and enjoyment at any college. But at Marshall University, there is literally always something to do. Our student life activities will keep you both engaged and creative. That's why Marshall will surely expand your boundaries. With over 200 active student organizations ranging from academic, multicultural, social, and recreational, it's so easy to find classmates who share your interests. For example, we have Ambassadors of Social Change, Society of Black Scholars, Pre-Med Club, Marshall Maniacs, and many faith-based organizations. Also, we're home to 16 Greek letter sororities and fraternities from 3 different national councils. As you will see, there's so many opportunities for everyone here. Getting involved on campus is the best way to make new friends and find your path. Yet we have also found it will even improve your academic performance. So we are looking forward to you joining us as an official son and daughter of Marshall University. We are Marshall. Let's talk about sports. Sports and athletics are huge at Marshall and always have been in Huntington. This is definitely a sports town and university. As an NCAA Division I university with 16 athletic teams and massive state-of-the-art stadiums, we've experienced numerous national rankings over the years in many of our sports. Even the high schools in our area are consistently state ranked. Some of our women's teams include basketball, soccer, softball, swimming and diving, tennis, and track and field, while some of our men's teams include football, basketball, golf, baseball, soccer, and cross country. Also, many of our former athletes are well known in the professional sports arena. If that's not for you, you can get involved in any of our 32 intramural sports available to students, including soccer, football, basketball, dodgeball, and 10 club sports teams for students who compete against other universities in rugby, tennis, wrestling, and even fencing, cycling, or equestrian. There's so much to do. We can't wait for you to check it out.
What's up, everybody? My name's Matt James, and I have the honor of serving as Assistant Dean of Students here at Marshall University. We hope you've enjoyed your tour of campus today as a part of the Intercultural Scholars Experience. At Marshall, we are family, and we are united.
Just seeing that makes me so excited and so much looking forward to normalcy. I know we're going to hear from the students in just a second with Shantae Polk's panel, but I tell you, as a mom of 2 kids who go to Marshall, that just kind of lifted my spirits and just made me overjoyed. Very, very grateful for what our students are offering to one another. Shantae, very much excited to hear from you and your panel about the student welcome to our Intercultural Scholars Experience.
Okay, can everyone hear me now? Is it working now? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm sorry about that. Always technical difficulties, and I didn't want to be the one to have them. But good morning and welcome. My name is Shantae Polk, and I am the director for the Office of Intercultural and International Students here at Marshall University. And I'm so excited to be with you all today because my panel is going to be a little bit interactive and fun. So I'm not going to talk very, very long, but I will give you a little bit of rules of how we're going to do this. So what we're going to do for you today is give you a real talk discussion on what it means to be a student here at Marshall University. So our panel consists of about 5 students who were here pre-COVID. So they can give you really, really, really in detail what it's like to be at Marshall, their first experience at Marshall, and they can answer any questions that you have. Now, before we do that, we're going to play a game. We're going to go Family Feud style. So the rules are simple. I know you all watch Family Feud. I know you all seen Steve Harvey. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna break the ice a little, play Family Feud. So if you know the answer, I'll just ask for you to raise your hand in the chat. When we see your hand, we're gonna unmute you and you can blurt out the answer. If you're right, you know how that goes. It flips over really quick and say you're right. If it's not, you're gonna get a boo, and that's how we're gonna move on. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into our Family Feud style game for our Real Talk session. So we're going to be really easy. We're going to start out really easy because I know we've been talking a lot about Marshall, so we're going to get into that too. So I hope you read that question. The question was very simple. Name a typical superpower. So my chat people are going to help me out here. So they're going to help me see the people who raise their hand first. And then, like I said, you raise your hand really fast and we'll unmute you and you blurt out the answer. So again, name a typical superpower. I know y'all know.
Flight.
All right, you said flight. Is it on here? Yes, it is. It's number 1. All right now. Name a typical superpower. Come on, y'all.
Can the panelists play?
Yeah, panelists.
Oh, invisibility.
Word.
Invisibility. Let's see. Yes, it is. We got 3 more up here. Come on now. Name a typical superpower.
Speed.
Strength.
Ooh, okay, I heard strength. We're going to go with strength. And it is. It's number 2. Did I hear speed too in there?
Yes, I said speed.
Oh, and you know what? You said number 3. That's what I heard.
Super speed. Gosh.
So we got 1 more. We got 1 more.
Laser.
That's, you know, was y'all know my thing? And it is actually laser vision. That is absolutely right. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna now we're gonna jump into some Marshall questions. We ain't gonna stay on this too long, but we're gonna move on to the next. So now we're gonna talk a little bit more about maybe school, because now we're here. We're trying to prepare you to come to Marshall because our hope is to see you and to have you. So I want y'all to think really, really hard about this, because this next question is going to focus specifically on what it is to be a Marshall student or what you should bring as an incoming Marshall student. So the question is, what is something a college student should bring to class? So I know we're in the COVID era, so you can't say tops, no bottoms. Let's think about things that we really, 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 really need if you're actually going to class. So name something that a college person would bring to class.
Something to write with.
Something to write with. Can you be more specific?
A pencil.
And you're number 1. Yeah, you are.
Say that one turned out very cute. Look. Blurry kind of.
Oh, repeat that for me.
A laptop.
A laptop. And you're number 2, you are. We got 3 more to go.
Textbooks.
And that's number 3. Y'all doing good this round.
Notebooks.
You say notebooks?
Yeah.
No. You got 1X. You got 2 more left. We got 2 more on the board.
Paper.
You're absolutely right. Paper is up there. And 1 more.
Yourself.
Oh, that's a good one. No. It wasn't on the top. It wasn't 5. We got 1 more.
Planner.
Oh, that's good too. But it's I'm so sorry. Can anybody think of the last one before I reveal it to you? Anybody?
Open mind, yourself. Gratitude.
Wow, see, y'all gonna make me rethink some of these answers because that's so good. No, but the top one, because we asked students this question. You know what they said? They said a folder and a binder. I know. So I would love to keep on playing because I definitely had another one up for you, but I know that kind of broke the ice a little bit. And so what we're going to do now, I want to introduce to y'all my lovely, lovely panel. All these students work with me. I have worked with them for a year, if not more. They are dynamic on campus. They are everywhere. Everybody knows that they're leaders. They're great. And they're going to give you, like I said, they're going to give you their own personal stories on what it was like for them to come to Marshall, and a little bit of information for you. And at the end of their presentation, I want y'all to feel free to ask as many questions as possible. No, you can ask them anything because this is for you all. This is the session that I want you to ask them anything that you want. So please, please, please feel free to do that. So without further ado, I will introduce to y'all my dynamic panel. And I want to start with Shakira Williams, who is my president of Black United Students. I love her dearly, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself and who she is and her experience here at Marshall.
Oh. Hi, everybody. I'm Shakira Williams. I am a junior here at Marshall University from Miami, Florida. I am president of Black United Students as well as on the women's track and field team here. So I'm pretty busy on campus. I'm also part of a modeling troupe called Opulence Modeling Troupe. You might think about that when you join. But my major here is pre-physical therapy and I minor in communications. 2 pretty good majors here and minors here. We have so many that you can choose from, and typically it does not matter sometimes when you make that decision, as long as you try to make it before you become a junior, when you are set to start your actual classes for your specific major when you're pursuing your degree. I do a lot of stuff. Black United Students, we're an organization that, pushes for unity within all races, humans, anybody, color, all of that stuff. We push for unity. We do a lot of activities on campus. We actually have a fried Oreo sale coming up on Monday, which is a huge fundraiser for us. And, I just like to have fun and I really love Marshall. What I thought when I came to Marshall was that it was my home because as a student athlete, I had to, pursue other schools, and Marshall's one of the schools that pursued me, and it felt like home all the way from Miami, even though it's freezing cold most of the time. But I love it here. I wouldn't mind, being anywhere else. Pre-COVID, it was very fun. Campus was very active. You would see a lot of people in and out. The student center, classes, we have a lot of buildings for each designated major or whatever, and you will go to your building. There'll be a lot of activities on campus beforehand. And now it's pretty boring, but, we're trying to make things work, virtual. Marshall does allow a lot of stuff to happen virtually, and there are activities given, virtually and stuff like that. Social media wise, it's a good way to follow at Marshall University because there are so many different clubs and different organizations where you can, join and follow through social media, like Black United Students, for example, or the actual Marshall University page as a whole. So a little about me, my favorite color is yellow. I'm a Virgo. I would assume that you guys would love Marshall if you came here. It doesn't matter whether it's pre-COVID or post-COVID or current COVID. Marshall does do a good job at keeping track of all that, getting tested, the vaccine, etc. So we actually we're in good hands as young adults coming to college. So yeah, that's what I have for y'all. If you guys have any questions for me personally at the end, after the whole presentation of everybody else that's up to speak, feel free to ask. Do not be scared. We do not bite.
Thank you, Takira. Next up, we'll have a Huntington native. So any of y'all who are from Huntington with us today, you may know his beautiful little face. I've known him since he was like 12. So it's always so crazy to see him. He's another dynamic student in his own right and has done a lot of things in his first year here. So I would like to introduce to you all a Huntington native, William Meadows.
Hey everyone, as Shantae said, I am from Huntington. I'm a sophomore here at Marshall. I'm a marketing major with a minor in psychology, and I'm a cheerleader. I'm also a part of the modeling troupe Opulence. Love that. You should definitely consider joining that. And I'm also part of the Society of Black Scholars. And my view and outlook on Marshall is a little different. From like growing up in Huntington, the thought of like staying in Huntington and going to Marshall, I was repulsed by. I did not want to at all. I was hating it. But then I went to the live version of this actual meeting that we're doing right now, and it completely changed my view on Marshall completely. I would definitely say Marshall is one of the best universities out because it's just such a homey feeling. Like everyone is so personable and just inviting. It's just like, just homey, just Huntington is just so homey. So like my outlook just changed a lot from before Marshall and then actually being a student here at Marshall. So about me, I'm 19, I'm big into fashion and dance, and I just like to make people laugh and like to laugh and just play. I just like to just play around, go with the flow. If you have any questions for me at the end, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Will. And I don't the shaking, but thank you. Next up, I love Will. I'll try to tell you I love him. So next up, we have another dynamic lady who is making a name for herself on Marshall's campus. She actually just received the student award for our women of color. I absolutely love her as well. Again, these are all students that I told you that I work with and I love. So next up, we will have another dynamic student, Miss Jada. I thought I'd seen her, Jada Coleman.
Yeah. Oh,
you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I was like, what? Like she said, I'm Jada Coleman. I am from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm pre-med. I minor in chemistry and involved in Black United Students. I'm the vice president that also LSM, which is the Lewis and Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation. I'm also the captain of the modeling troupe that they were speaking of. That is, like they said, I do recommend that you guys look into that when you come here. It was very awesome, very diverse and inclusive. Also a member of the President's Anti-Racism Coalition, because who doesn't love a president that loves to fight for our people of color and just in general, you know? But at first, coming here, I'm gonna be honest, this is supposed to be real. So I really always had this dream of like, you know, going to HBCU and like just, you know, a different environment from what Marshall is. But like doing my research and coming to the campus and coming to the community and stuff like that, I was like, wow. Like I was like, I didn't think I would like it that much, but I took a leap of faith. I know everybody hears me say that's on Marshall campus, but it really is a leap of faith because I was like, Marshall really got me. Like, I loved it so much and I still do. And I just feel like they say it, everyone says it's like a home because it truly is. Like coming from a big city like Indianapolis and then coming to this small, like, you know, little town, I was like, okay, but it truly does, being a Marshall student truly does like make you feel like you are a part of a big family, especially with the faculty too. They make you feel like you're a part of a big family. Like it's super, super inclusive. And I just love that because who doesn't want to go to a college that makes them feel like they're part of something and they matter, you know? yeah, and Marshall met all my needs and stuff, and that what I wanted to find in the college, and I just was instantly just breathtaking. I really don't have anything bad to say about it because it was just so good, and it made me forget about any other like offers or scholarships I got from any other school. I just instantly was like, I'm here, and I'm to stay. But yeah, a little bit about me. I guess since we're doing this, my favorite color is golden pink, and I don't know, I love popcorn. So if you have questions or anything, of course, put it in the chat or unmute your mic. Like Shakira said, we are not going to bite you. So
thank you so much, Jada. Like I said, love Jada. Jada has been making her way on campus. She's truly into a lot of things and she's super dynamic. So last but certainly not least, I've known her for a couple of years now. She's another one of our dynamic students. I used to think she is so quiet, but she's not. She makes her way around as well. She's making a name for herself. She's a Charleston native. So anyone who is from Charleston who is viewing with us today, you may or may not know, because she's not older, but she's a little bit older than you guys, but definitely you may know her. She is from Charleston. Her name is Kanaja Booth, and she's our last panelist. So following Kanaja, I want you to just think of all those questions that you had in your mind that you want to ask them, because like they said, they are willing to answer anything you have. There are no bad questions, so please feel free to ask anything. So again, I want to introduce you our final panelist, Kanaja Booth.
Hey, yeah, I'm Kanaja Booth. A lot of people just call me Boofy though, so either way is fine. But I am a junior, a psychology major. What I thought coming to Marshall, honestly, I didn't want to come because, I'm from Charleston. It's like 45 minutes away. I didn't think it was far enough from home. And I planned to go out of state, but that didn't work out. And then I came here. I agree with everyone else. It really is a family. They always make me feel welcome. They just want the best for you. They always want you to succeed. Everyone is just always want to help out, like if you're struggling, like I've struggled sometimes, and there's just been multiple people that have helped me out. I've met so many friends. I thought I was going to see like the same people from back home and stuff, but I've met so many new people, like my best friends. Oh, also, I am a part of Black United Students. I'm a treasurer for the group, and also a part of the modeling troupe as well. I guess about myself, my favorite color is blue. I'm an Aquarius. Oh, and I was born on Groundhog Day, so yeah.
Thank you so much, Boofy. So without further ado, y'all, I want you to ask as many questions as you possibly want. We do have a couple of minutes here. As you all heard from all of our students on the panel, they told you a little bit what they thought about COVID. They gave you their actual self. Somebody said, bring yourself to class. Yeah, sorry about the thing. I was laughing at that, sorry. But they told you positives and their fear about what it was like coming to Marshall. And so I want you to know that no matter what, they said something that remained consistent, that Marshall is a family, it is a home, and we truly, truly are. Everyone who walks on this campus, everyone who steps foot in this office or in Mr. Cooley's office, you will know that you are now entering into a family. All those students that you've seen speak, they stay in my office all the time. It was pre-COVID and a little bit now post-COVID. So, during COVID. So I want you to know this is what it is. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand and we'll see it on the side like we did the game, and we'll unmute you so that you can ask your question. So again, please feel free to ask any question. Okay, Caleb.
So I have two questions. So
okay.
I know it sort of depends on what you take, but does taking a major and a minor take up a lot of your schedule?
I can speak for you. No, it doesn't. Marshall does a great job at balancing out your courses, especially as a freshman and a sophomore. You're not taking the actual core classes yet. You're getting, it's not like high school, not like high school, but you're taking certain classes first and then etc. You can choose as up to many hours as you want to. As a student athlete, for me, I can say that we're required to take 12 hours. And then if you choose to take more, it's up to you. So it's really a schedule thing between you and your actual advisor. And as freshmen and sophomore, they make sure they take care of you. Like you won't be swamped with so much workloads from different classes and stuff. Sometimes they do correlate with each other. So in one class, you'll be like, oh, hey, I just learned that. And it just goes in unison. You'll be fine. It's not a lot.
I can piggyback too, because like I said, pre-med, and then I minored in chemistry. And I thought like, that was gonna be like, hearing those words, just like a whole lot of stuff going on. So I got scared when I heard that, but my advisor for College of Science has really been helpful. And she definitely, like Takira said, like definitely has spaced it out. And like, we have a thing called, we have like I don't know what I call it, like a program or something like called Degree Works. And I can go in there and see like what I need to take or what I like, what I may have coming up, what I need to start preparing for, or something I should talk to my advisor about. So I can like, just be prepared in general as a college student. And so doing that, the advisor, I just love how they have that system going, because it definitely helps me being a science major, like just to stay on track and know what I'm getting myself into, because, science could be a lot.
And you said you had 2 parts of it?
As a freshman, can you have your own vehicle on campus?
Yes. The plus.
Thank you.
Skylar Brown has a question.
Hi, I'm in West Virginia, and I'm up in the Eastern Panhandle. So I'm in a predominantly white town, and I am biracial. My mother is African American and Latina, and my father is white. And I've always felt really like, I wouldn't say out of place, but since it isn't a very diverse area, I've always felt like super like different. And I was really concerned about going to a in-state school. Like I've really been looking out. I was really concerned to go to an in-state school because I know that out of other states, West Virginia isn't as diverse. And like, I don't know, I guess I really just want to know, like, since you guys are down there, like, is it really as diverse as like people have been telling me? Like, is there really like a giant community of like different people and that kind of thing?
I know when I first got to Marshall, I thought like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm gonna be the only person in this class. No, it's not the case. We're actually, Black United Students actually planning a panel about biracial students or biracial people in general, about like what they, consider themselves to be, and how hard it is in society for them. We are planning that. So when that does happen, I don't know how I'm gonna get to you, but you should join it. But however, campus has become more diverse over the years, literally. Like my freshman year, okay. My sophomore year, okay. My junior year, there's a lot. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be more to come, because Marshall University is definitely expanding in many areas as far as academics or sports is concerned. So you definitely should not feel out of place when you come here. Like I said, like it is a home. It's gonna be different, because it was different for me. It's a huge adjustment. But when you get around your specific group of people that's going to support you, you're not going to feel out of place at all. Like I came here, I could sit in the front of a classroom, not feel out of place. I could present something, not feel out of place. I could join something, not feel out of place. Everybody makes sure you're a part at Marshall. Like pre-COVID, there was a lot of, different organizations and clubs. I'm sorry if I'm talking too long. I'm really big on this. I really want you to feel like you're not out of place. Pre-COVID, there's different types of organizations of different people, like people not my ethnicity and stuff like that, will reach out to you to be like, hey, do you want to join this? Would you like to be a part of this? Nobody makes you feel excluded at all. And if you do come across that, there are matters you can take it up with. Trust me, and it won't be a problem at all. So I hope that answered your question.
Okay, thank you.
Will, I saw you unmuted your mic. Did you want to say something on that for Skylar too?
No, TK really answered it. Yeah, there's nothing to worry about. You'll feel included for sure.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? I'm so glad that you all are asking questions. Okay, so John.
My name is actually Aaron. This is my dad's Zoom. But
Okay,
I was
Aaron.
wondering if you guys had an Asian American presence or leadership on campus.
We want you to come so that you can be that person, please. I'm always rooting for, anyone just, striving and doing that. I know that the SGA and stuff like that, the Student Government Association, I believe, I know that you can easily just apply and run and campaign, like anybody can do it. And I've been really trying to push somebody to do that. So, I mean, I would, but, but I really would hope for you to do that because yes, that's why I need people that want to come and join and do the work to be that voice and that image. So yes, for sure. I personally haven't seen one, so if there was, please correct me.
Okay, so Aaron, as the director for Intercultural and International Students, we do have an organization, a club here on campus that you can actually join. And as the director for the international student organizations, you will be able to join those through our HERT link and interact with people if you're talking for Asian organizations and things like that. So yes, we do have it. We do have a presence. And as Jada said, if we don't have it, you can make it. But the good thing is we do have it. So we do have that presence here on campus. It is one that can be built and grown because Black United Students has shrank, increased, shrank. So, I mean, if it's small when you arrive, definitely you can grow it and make it bigger because that's usually how our organizations run and go. But yes, we do have a presence. And if you want to make it larger and stronger, definitely, like Jada said, come and be that person because definitely you can here at Marshall because you will definitely have the support and the backing.
Can I say one more thing too?
Yes.
Don't be scared to come onto campus and, actually try to run stuff. Not like run stuff, but, become a leader, like have a voice. You are not too young. You are not to be scared of any other like upperclassmen and stuff like that because it takes involvement and it takes initiative in order to create things. And sometimes you're not going to get the outcome you always want. But if you continue to push and you continue to like let it be known, like, hey, I'm here to make this voice, I'm here to make this statement, people will join, people will support. You'll be surprised. So don't be scared at all. It's like a bigger high school. Like if you were in all those clubs when you were in high school, please join them again in college. It's fun. So don't be scared.
Great answer, TK. Great answer. Is it Noble? It's Noble?
Yes, it is, ma'am.
Okay.
So I was gonna ask about people that don't have scholarships. Like, is Marshall affordable enough to cover all the fees and stuff if you don't have scholarships and stuff like that?
So I seen the lovely Miss Jean Ann, who is on here, and I'm sure she's going to talk to you all about that information. So I don't want us to get too deep in that conversation because Miss Jean Ann is in the next panel for that. So they will cover that for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and I have Joe Richards. Joe, there you go.
It's actually Alexis Hartwell. This is my grandpa's computer.
Alexis?
There's a thing I've read about freshmen have to attend or like be in dorms their first year. Is that still a thing now, even with COVID?
And I think they're going to talk in detail a little bit more about that as well. So we're rounding up the panel. So even Mr. Cooley, my boss, is telling me next panel. So next panel, we're going to get onto that. So Alexis will get that question answered for you too. For you and Noble, we got those questions coming up in the next panel, okay? And I have Skylar Brown. And following that, we're going to let Linda be the last question we have. So Skylar.
Okay, hi again. How do I get involved? Because I should be starting in the fall at Marshall. And how do I get involved with these organizations and like the clubs that you guys have and like all those things? Because I try to be an activist here in my own community because there is less of a diverse, background. I try to be an activist, and I would really love to be an activist for not only my background, but other people's backgrounds. And I want to get involved as soon as possible. And like, how does that process go about?
I will say, like, on campus and stuff, like going there, especially when fall starts, because fall starts, every organization I feel like is out there like trying to get you like, hey, like, look what I'm doing. You will see it, trust me. It will definitely be out there in your face, and you would have the free will to just be like, hey, I want to join. Hey, I want to learn more about this. And that's the good part about it, is because like we all been saying, you'll be on campus feeling like a family and stuff like that, and it'll be like each person in these corners just trying to get you, and you're going to be overwhelmed, but it'll be fun. It'll be worth it. And we also have a portal called HerdLink where you also can go in there, which they will tell you about that. Since you said you should be starting in fall, they'll tell you about that. And you'll see a whole bunch of organizations that Marshall has, because it is a lot, and they are very, very awesome. And yeah.
Thank you, Jada. And our last question before we close out our panel will come from Linda.
If you get a full scholarship, what does it cover and what doesn't?
Okay, and that, Linda, is for our next panel. They will tell you that, along with Mr. Cooley. They will tell you what that all encompasses. So that will be in our next panel with the lovely Miss Jean Ann, who you will see. So they will let you know what that will cover. So with that, guys, I just want to say thank you all so much for making this session very interactive and fun. I was worried because I didn't know if anybody wanted to ask questions, but I'm so glad that you did. But before we go, I have to remind you to please remember to go on and sign the verification form that is on the Intercultural Affairs website. Easiest way, I know Mr. Cooley gave it to you earlier, if you just go onto www.marshall.edu, if you go in the search bar, if you just type in Intercultural Affairs, our website will pop up, and you can go there to the form section, find it, sign it, and send it. So thank you all again so much. I really hope to see you all this coming fall. Again, join our family, as TK, Jada, Will, and Boofy Kanaja has said. It is definitely a family, and we cannot wait to see you all. Thank you, and y'all have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Shante. Thank you, Jada, Takira, Will, Boothie. It's so great to hear from students. We're going to switch gears a little bit right now, and we're going to start the parent panel. I just want to say hello before I share my screen so you see what I look like. I'm doing my best under COVID in my son's bedroom with a little Marshall thing hanging over the window. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with y'all and hope that it comes up okay. So right now you should be seeing, let's see, slideshow. You should be seeing Marshall University Intercultural Students Experience Parent Information Panel. And so with that, hello and welcome, moms, dads, grandparents, guardians, all of us who've invested a lifetime of love in the students here on the call. Students, I hope you stay on the call, even though this session is primarily directed towards the parents and guardians. I also want to tell you that seeing your babies grow up and go to college is what we want, but it is so hard. And so at some point today, give your parent, guardian, mom, dad, grandparent a hug and just thank them for being there for you and being part of this with you. My name is Dr. Katarina Shray. I'm an English professor here at Marshall, and I'm also the director of student success. But the main reason that I asked to be part of this event is that I'm also a mom. I have 2 kids here in high school locally in Huntington High, and I have 2 kids here at Marshall. My daughter is a junior and my son is a freshman. And I share that because I'm very aware of the questions and concerns you might have. And my heart goes out to you because this transition, while it's challenging for students, it's also hard for us because we love our kids. We love our kids more than life itself, and seeing them grow up is bittersweet. So before I say anything else, thank you, moms, dads, parents, grandparents, guardians. Thank you for considering sharing your child with us here at Marshall. Welcome, we're excited. We can't wait to meet you. Before we do anything else, I'm asking you to please, we're hoping to engage you just as Shantae's panel did. We're going to use cell phones. So if you have a cell phone handy, please take a moment and text that long name. I didn't pick it, that's the default that was assigned to me. It's Katarina SCHR 433. Please text that to number 37607. that will open up a poll everywhere function for us. And it'll be one way that we can interact in just a little bit. There'll be some questions coming up soon. So please take a moment to do that, to text KATERYNASCHR 433 to 37607. And we'll start using that in just a minute. In this panel, we'll get to answer some very specific questions. Our goal is not to overwhelm you with information, but rather to give you insight into the various offices that work behind the scenes to make the classroom experience possible. You'll meet key figures from each of these offices, and they'll share with you what their unit does to promote student success at Marshall. I can tell you, for years, I've been interacting with these offices as an advocate for students, but now having my own children enrolled in college here at Marshall, I am blown away by not only the expertise of the people we have working in these offices, but by their genuine kindness, compassion, and investment in students. I honestly feel like any student I bring to their attention is the only student they have to deal with that day, which I know is not true, but that's that they go out of their way to like prioritize anything they can do to help a student. So in this panel this afternoon, the second panel, you'll hear about the college admissions process. You'll hear about college scholarships, and that's Noble, your question, and Linda, your question. Gina and Bevins will be able to address some of that. She's got a slide ready, in fact, that lists a bunch of scholarships and another slide that points you to where to go get scholarships. You'll hear a little bit about financial aid. You'll hear a little bit about housing and residence life. And so Alexis, your question about living on campus, that'll be addressed. You'll hear a little bit about the bursar's office, the Office of Career Education, and finally, a little bit about my office, the Office of Student Success. So very, very happy, very glad you all are here. Let's try this. Let's see how this works. So if you can go ahead and now, once you've logged into that poll everywhere function, once you've texted that long name to 37607, now you can go ahead and just text an answer. So with one or two words, how do you feel about your child starting college in the fall? Take a second and just let us know, how do you feel about your child starting college in the fall? Give me an adjective or two. Oh, I see excited coming up. That's good. That's good. Excited's good. Sad. Oh my gosh. I am still getting overtaken my oldest to preschool. I just, it's hard. You love these children. Nervous. Yes. Yes, absolutely nervous. It makes a lot of sense. Keep these coming in. Keep these coming in. As they're coming in, I want to tell you, yeah, it's funny because I think we're all expected to be excited and proud of our kids, and we are. But it doesn't mean that there aren't negative things that come with that, and apprehension, loneliness, the anticipation of being lonely, sad. So we get it, and I say this not to make things worse, but my daughter, when she left for college, so this is like a couple years ago, she moved out June 29th because she's also an athlete. And so she moved out June 29th. And I think I literally cried every day until middle of October. And I work on campus. She's 2 miles away. You know, I get these feelings. I understand it. And here's the best part. I'm not the only one. So many of us are parents, and so many of us we understand that the child before us, and I know they're not children, I know they're young adults or students, but we understand that person before us in our classes is someone's son, daughter, granddaughter, loved one. We get it. We understand what you've invested and what it's taken to get to college. And we know that there's a lonely, sad person at home missing this child that's been entrusted to our care. We honor your investment in that child with everything that we do. Thank you for sharing these thoughts with us. I want you to know that we're aware of any kind of the nervousness. It makes so much sense under normal circumstances, but with COVID, holy cow, how can you not be nervous? I want you to know that we are aware of the challenges our students face. We do see a lot more homesickness. It's off the charts. We see a lot more anxiety. We see something called COVID fatigue. People are just sick and tired of living in a pandemic. I want you to know that we're very aware of this. We're very, very proactive about this. And we have multiple safety nets set up to identify when a student might need help. In fact, we don't wait for a student to come to us for help. We're constantly looking out to see are students going to classes, are they turning in their assignments? And if something looks awry, I will definitely contact the student and say, hey, sorry for meddling. I'm a mom. I care about how well you're doing. If you were my kid, I'd be asking you this question. What do you need? And so we are very proactive about this. And I just want you to know that, again, we never lose sight of the fact that that student before us is someone's loved one. Go on to the next one. This next question is more like for fun. this is for all of us here to kind of get to see who else is planning on majoring in what. So what major is your child planning to pursue in college? And if you don't know, it's perfectly okay to say undecided. It's completely, that's a very reasonable answer. We see a lot of that. In fact, sometimes our more intelligent students struggle longer to find their home. So I see criminal justice, nursing, business administration, accounting, great. The nice thing is all these fields are coming up. I can think of a great faculty member in every single one of those. Kinesiology, holy cow. I just came from there yesterday. The students were doing a gait assessment of how I walk. I had a whole bunch of sensors strapped to me because I'm getting my knee replaced on Monday. And so here I have Marshall students are doing my pre-surgery assessment. That's amazing. When they put that on their job applications, on their graduate school applications, that's amazing. Our business school is out of this world. Actually, literally in every single one of these majors that I'm seeing on the screen, but I hope you're seeing too, I can think of an extraordinary faculty member that's part of that unit that is ready to welcome your son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter with open arms. All righty, so now let's get to the more practical kind of hands-on question and answer stuff. And we're going to start with, I have a series of questions for you. It's kind of like a game show quiz as well. When we do this in person, it's a little bit more functional, but we're going to try to do it this way. So I'm going to ask a question, and then for the answer, we're going to toss it to an expert in that field. So here's the first question. This type of college admission allows freshman students who meet the minimum academic requirements to begin their first semester at Marshall while waiting for official high school transcripts and/or valid immunization records. Is it unconditional love, conditional, provisional, or unconstitutional? Do your best and see what you have to say about that. Looks like we're pretty much in agreement on that one. Well, so for the answer, let's go to Dr. Tammy Johnson.
Hi there, can you guys hear me all right?
I can, yep.
Okay, fantastic. So that is the correct answer. Provisional admission is what we offer when a student meets all of our academic requirements, but they do not have all of their final and official credentials submitted yet. And that is 99.9% of our students, because obviously you cannot submit that final and official high school transcript until after you graduate. And so right now, most everyone is provisionally admitted when we get those final official credentials, high school transcript, in most years test score, but this is a year that we are admitting students test optional. And so that is not a required credential this year, but then also the valid immunization, as Dr. Shray mentioned, we need those credentials as well. So a student will be fully admitted at that time. We do also offer conditional admission. I hope that we all offer unconditional love as well. I saw that was an answer there, but we absolutely offer conditional admission for students who we believe have the potential to be successful, but maybe do not meet one of our admission requirements by a slight margin. Typically that is a standardized test score, but as I mentioned, standardized test scores are not a requirement this year. And students are even eligible for some scholarships, some merit scholarships, just based on their GPA this year, not based on their test score.
Thank you, thank you. So that's Tammy Johnson, Dr. Tammy Johnson, the Dean of Admissions and Executive Director of Enrollment Services. And again, like when she mentioned when she talked about provisional admission, my son was in that category. He did not get his immunization records in on time. So he had to go do that. Thank you so much. Her office is on the first floor of Old Main. And right now we're doing this communication virtually. She'll stay with us on the call. And if we have any questions for Dr. Johnson, we'll address those in just a little bit.
And Katarina, don't feel bad, because my high school senior this year has still not submitted his vaccination record. He is provisionally admitted as well.
I love the fact that we're all parents and we get it. We totally get it. Thank you. Our next question is, Marshall students who received the West Virginia Promise Scholarship, whoops, the daisy, sorry, I kind of blocked this out, didn't I? Sorry about this. Marshall students who received the West Virginia Promise Scholarship as incoming freshmen must do this in order to be eligible for scholarship renewal. And there you have some choices, A, B, C, or D. Okay, we got some answers coming in. All right, so we've got a couple of responses here. So with that, let me go ahead and invite Jean Ann Bevins, Associate Director of Customer Service for Financial Aid. Jean Ann's on the call. Jean Ann, what's the answer to that?
The answer is A. You have to have 30
credit hours in a year to get your promise renewed. You also have to have a 2.75 your first year and a 3.0 the next year. Promise not to transfer to WVU. I like that answer, but
Yeah.
but it is, you have to have 30 credit hours. Most of the, when you register for classes, most of the advisors are going to put you in 15 hours or more anyway. So you should be able to do that. And you have the time to make it up in the summer if you have to drop a class or something like that. Again, I am Jean Ann Bevins. I'm the Assistant Director of Customer Service. And what my office does is to help you navigate regulations and aid for federal, state, and institutional aid. We're here to help you fill out your free application for federal student assistance, which needs to be done if you're a senior. If you are, and you've been admitted to Marshall and you have this criteria on these on this slide, you will be able to get those awards. If you notice, if you're John Marshall, you have a $5,500 award. You can go to the Honors College for $400 if you get $500, I'm sorry. And if you are West Virginia Promise, you get $4,750. And coming to Marshall and accepting your Intercultural award, you could get a total of $11,750 just to come to Marshall. If you look at this screen and see where you apply, and Dr. Johnson did say that we have new scholarships for Get Started. So if you are somebody who has not taken the ACT or SAT, please contact our office and we'll be able to assist you with some scholarship funding, as long as you have a GPA, okay, that is needed. So remember that hopefully all of you who, for promise sake, you've already done your application, you've already submitted your free application for federal student aid. That was due March the 1st. This is the first year. And again, you do not have to complete that FAFSA every year, but it is likely that you need to because you will need more aid other than to promise, okay? It also at the bottom of bottom of the scholarship, the slide, it says application for the Intercultural. It tells you what you need for that as well. So just make sure that you know your scholarship renewal criteria with whatever scholarships that you get, okay?
Okay, we've got one more question for Jean Ann in just a second. I'm gonna click at the next slide. So here's the next, oops, sorry about that. Here we go. All right, here's our next question. This is also going to be tossed to Jean Ann for an answer. Students who wish to receive a federal student loan, i.e. borrow money, and she's actually already shared the answer to this if just now, must have a cosigner, be at least 18, complete the FAFSA, bring flowers and candy to the final. Here we go. Okay, the answers came in pretty darn quick. So we go back to Jean Ann on this one. Jean Ann, you've already addressed it. Anything else to say about the FAFSA? I can ask you this question. I think if you want to be a work study student, you need to have the FAFSA on file.
That's correct. You need to have that free application. Yes, you need to have the FAFSA. I really like the last answer, show appreciation, but that has nothing to do with it, everybody. You just need to complete the FAFSA every year for financial aid reasons. For loans, grants, scholarships. Some of our scholarships here are merit-based. So not merit-based. I can't think of the word. I'm sorry.
Need-based.
Need-based. Sorry. There, I got too much going in my brain here. Need-based scholarships, and we will need that FSA, the FAFSA filled out so we can figure out what that is, okay? Now, you do need to do that. And the next slide I have out there is the one-stop shop where you do everything. I mean, it's studentaid.gov, and you can fill out the FAFSA. Parents, if they decide to take a Parent Plus loan out, it's there. Everything. It's a one-stop shop for your loans, everything. So that is a good thing to have, is that studentaid.gov. That's where you will apply for everything.
And the financial aid office is located on the first floor of Old Main, also in that same main building, really just a little bit across the hallway from Mr. Cooley's office and down a little bit. every financial aid case is so specific to students. We call it for help all the time. They are so great. They look up the number of the student situation. They spend so much time troubleshooting and often finding additional resources. I mean, I'm impressed with how knowledgeable, well, that, I mean, I shouldn't be, you are super knowledgeable about it, but you're also incredibly kind about this. And I really appreciate that. You take into account all sorts of circumstances and you move heaven and earth to get funding for students. So thank you for that.
That's what our job is. We're supposed to help students.
And you do. We're gonna go on to our next question here. And our next question is, what is a bursar? Interesting. We're kind of going in order of how things affect you, how you kind of enter into the college. So what is a bursar? Keeper of the purse, business office in a university or college setting, both A and B, or neither A and B. It's curious to see what y'all think. What is a bursar? Go ahead and type in your answers and let's see what we get. All righty. For the answer to this question, we're going to go to Bob Collier. Now, that's not a picture of Bob Collier. That's a picture of Marco, our mascot. Bob Collier is the Assistant Director of Student Financial Systems. We're on the phone, he and I, probably 4 times a week. He'll introduce himself and talk about what the bursar is. But then I kind of want to chime in after that because we don't often associate extreme kindness and patience with people who control the money. But in fact, that's very largely what it is. So Bob, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm here. Can you all hear me?
I can hear you, yep.
Good. The answer is a trick question. The answer is C. So it's both keeper of the purse. The word bursar actually is Latin or derives from Latin, and it does mean keeper of the purse. But in a university or college setting, it is actually a business office. What I want to do now is just basically give you a bullet point example of what our office is really about. We assess fees and we're responsible for collecting the revenue on those fees for tuition, room and board, and the fees that are associated with the Marshall. Our fee structure is broken down by semester, and the fees that we actually are assessing right now are fees that are for this fiscal year. The fee structure has not been established for the next year, but if you go to our website, which is www.marshall.edu/bursar, you'll be able to see the fee structures depending on a student's residency and give you a ballpark for what fees will be for next year. I'm not sure if we get a raise, I mean, if fees are going to be increased for this coming academic year. I will tell you that I've had the privilege, it's been a distinct privilege to be on this campus as an employee for 31 years. There's only been 1 year within those 31 years that fees have not increased. I had no idea, but as a benchmark, I would go like 5 or 6%, and that could give you a little bit of a benchmark to go by. So that might answer that young man's question that they were wondering if Marshall is affordable. As for speaking for going to college, Marshall is very, very affordable, especially for someone that's a Metro student, live in the tri-state area, or a West Virginia resident. And out of state is not that expensive when you compare to private schools and other schools that are in different, that are in our area surrounding the students that we are actually going for. It is very affordable. The other thing I want to talk about is due dates. If students pre-register, normally the due date is the middle of August for the fall term. If they pre-register for what we call the spring term, their due date is like the middle of December. And then if you pre-register for a summer term, then it's throughout the month of May. We do have a payment plan. It's called the Oasis Payment Plan. It actually takes the balance that's not covered by financial aid and splitting it into 4 different payments. So keep that in mind. After financial aid has been subtracted from your bill, then any remaining balance can be split into 4 payments, but the due dates are set. So if you have a due date due in August, sign up for the Oasis, your first payment's like the middle of August, then middle of September, October, and the middle of November, as an example. We do have a payment portal that's it's called Cash Track. You can get to it through MyMU, which is the student portal. I will talk about refunds real quickly. We're responsible for any financial aid that we come back to a student as a difference, and we really request that the student go on through our portal, Cash Track, and choose a refund preference. That way, the student is driving where that refund goes. If they don't choose a refund preference, it'll be sent by paper check. That's the slowest way to get a refund. The quickest way would be to set up a direct deposit. The last thing I want to say kind of ties back to what Katarina was saying. We are here to assist. I have a responsibility, and that responsibility is to collect revenue. I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for students like you guys yourself, prospective students. We're here to assist. So we're going to do everything that we legally can do to assist the student to be able to afford to go to school. So just keep that in mind, and please contact us if you have an issue. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Bob. Thank you. I see we're getting some questions in the chat, which is great. We'll make sure to get to those right after we go through the slides here. Yeah, keep those questions coming. That's great. We'll definitely get to those. One of our few remaining, we got a couple questions left. An admitted student may not submit a housing application until he or she does this: graduates from high school, cleans up his or her room at home, participates in freshman orientation, pays the $100 enrollment deposit. And it looks like we're pretty much set on what the answer is. For the answer, let's go to Lakeisha Taylor, Associate Director of Housing and Residence Life. Hi, Keisha.
Hey, Katarina. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, the answer is D, so good job on that, is to pay that enrollment deposit. Again, my name is Lakeisha Taylor. I am the Associate Director of Residence Life for Housing and Residence Life, so thank you for joining us. Just want to take a few moments to talk to you about living in the halls and getting prepared to live in the residence halls. I believe, I speak for myself, but also from just experience, is that living in the halls is really an integral part of that college experience, and socializing and getting to know who you are as a person, and also getting to know other people. To answer a question that was asked earlier during the student panel concerning being able to defer housing, our president has indicated that the goal is for the fall to be back to normal as much as possible when it comes to being on campus, going to classes, things of that nature. So housing will follow suit with that. We will be back to normal. Due to COVID, we did allow students to defer their housing, but this year we'll be again operating back to normal unless something changes. During COVID, we were open. Students have and are right now living in the residence halls. They have been doing what they can to socially distance. We've had to change some policies like with visitation and programming and things of that nature. But come fall, our goal is to have everything back to normal and visitation reinstated, programs occurring as normal, in person, virtually, outside, inside, everywhere. So our goal again for this fall is to be back to normal. So I hope I answered the question that you had. We do have 9 residence halls on campus, 2 of which house only freshmen, which is first year North and South. That holds 787 students. So basically the first 787 students to pay that enrollment deposit and pay that housing deposit, the $200 housing deposit, are placed, if they preference first year North or South, are placed in North and South. There's 2 other halls on campus that have floors dedicated to freshman students. So those aren't the only halls that they live in. They could also live in Buskirk and Towers East. And we do have a few students that live in Marshall Commons as well. Marshall does have a residency requirement for our freshmen and sophomore students. So all freshmen and sophomore students who do not live within a 50-mile radius of campus with a parent or legal guardian are required to live on campus. That is because the halls provide the opportunities for students to adapt to being independent and to have a good and structured environment that's secure and that is safe, that offers academic support, that offers emotional and physical support. So that's why Marshall observes that residency requirement. When it comes to academic support, we have themed housing to help make the social and academic connections. As the student fills out their housing agreement, they will be asked their preference on the types of rooms or types of floors that they would like to live on. And those themes allow students to connect on an interest-based level. We have some science themes, we have gaming themes, we have women empowerment themes, so all kinds of things that a student can choose from that are a part of that agreement. When it comes to emotional and physical support, we have that through our professional staff that lives in the residence halls, as well as our student staff that actually live on the floors. So we do offer all kinds of support. I know you've heard from students as well as the other staff members on those panels that talk about the family atmosphere that Marshall prides itself in. And the halls are no different. We consider ourselves family as well. We consider ourselves a support system for your students. We also, so for those senior parents, once that enrollment deposit has been paid, your student will then have access to the housing agreement that's found on the housing website, and that's marshall.edu/housing. They will complete that agreement. We ask that you do allow the student to complete that agreement. I say that because I know parents sometimes are more on the ball than said students. And so they like to fill out that housing agreement, but that agreement asks for particular preferences. And we want to make sure that we get the preferences for the floor types based on what your student wants, preferences when it comes to roommate choices based on what the student wants and needs. So it's very important that they're a part of that process and taking ownership and filling out that agreement. Once they fill out an agreement, students also are then given the opportunity to put in information about a roommate. All freshmen do have roommates unless a single is needed for some type of medical reasoning. I know that living with the roommate can sometimes be difficult. We don't shy away from that. We understand that learning to live with somebody is definitely a new experience. Especially we have a lot of students who, are wanting to choose to live with their best friend from high school, or sometimes even a sibling. And living with somebody is a different experience. So we want to make sure that people are with people who they will get along with and can learn from and live with in a reasonable way. So we do have a roommate. Because we want students to be able to build that independence, learn how to advocate for themselves, and get to know other people. But if there are problems, and problems do occur when it comes to roommates, we have staff there to help mediate that. And if a room change is needed, we have staff there to help facilitate that. So don't think that a person or that your student or that you will be by yourself in dealing with a problem. We don't want you to live in a room where you feel uncomfortable or unsafe. So do know that we are here to help support you through that process as well. So once they complete that agreement and pay the $200 deposit, then you will be set. Room assignments and roommate information is normally sent out in June to students. So you want to make sure that you're watching your email. That's how we do all of our communication with students, is through their Marshall email. So I do also want to prompt you all to make sure you're paying attention to that as well. I, like everyone else, will be here to answer any questions that you have. But again, thank you so much for joining us and looking at Marshall, where we are a family and are ready to welcome you with open arms. Thank you.
Keisha, I am so grateful to the work you and your staff do. I was hesitant about my children living in the dorms, mostly because we're so close to campus, but I am so glad they did. I see this maturity, and I see like so much of the learning that happens on campus doesn't happen in the classroom. It happens in those like after hour conversations and whatnot. I'm so, so, so grateful to you. So grateful to you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you guys do.
Thank you.
All righty. So Alexis, you're the one who asked the question about housing earlier. So in the chat, if you have a follow-up question for Lakeisha, go ahead and put it in the chat. We're coming to our penultimate question. What if your child has no idea what they want to major in? What are you going to do? Make an appointment with the Office of Career Education? Despair, panic, pray you win the lottery? Well, for the answer to this one, we're going to go over to Kristen Sims, Career Education Specialist. Hi, Kristen.
I hope you guys can hear me okay.
I can hear you just a little bit. If you could get the volume up, that would be better.
Okay, I'll try my best. In the meantime, I'll just talk really loud. How about that?
This works. This works.
Okay. So, like she said, my name's Kristen Sims, and I am a career education specialist over with the Office of OCE. And our job is to assist your students with their entire time at Marshall, from their freshman year all the way up to their senior year and possibly into grad school as well. So we offer assistance with career coaching, which is what would be the answer to that question. So one-on-one coaching sessions with students, and also career interest assessments that also have been helpful, and advice with them, just to be able to discuss with them what their interests are and what they're looking for. We also have guidance for internships as well, and about the process, when to start, what things that you need to be looking for, what things you need to provide. And we provide resume development as well. So that means any professional documents that your student needs to write, cover letter, resume, philosophy statement, things like that. We are there to help guide them through those steps. We also offer free printed resumes, which is nice, and business cards too. So in addition to that, there's professional development things that we focus on, which involve mock interviewing, and also big interviews, which involve a webcam and you sitting down and practicing. We offer etiquette dinners and career development workshops, job shadowing opportunities through a program that we call CEE, which is the Career Exploration Experience. So you're able to job shadow or conduct some interviewing with, we call them like professional interviewing or employment interviewing. It's not the same as interviewing for a job. It's where you kind of sit down with someone who has the career path you're interested in, and you interview them about how they got where they are. So we have those things going on. We also have a mentorship network, and that has been really helpful for students, where you are matched with someone who is in your same field or the field that you like to be in, and they are helpful with networking and guidance. We have career expos, fall and spring semester, and also we have expos that are based on specific majors. Like there's one, a pharmacy career expo, physical therapy, and educator expo that we do. Lastly, we have a website called Handshake, which is also an app that you can download on your phone, where you're able to job search while you're a student. So looking for part-time, full-time, or internships on that website. And then also you're able to job search for your ideal career once you graduate. So the website pulls jobs from all across the country. So it's not just related to one area. And one thing that I've also noticed that I really like about it is that there's an option to look for remote work depending on where you're located. So in order to help you get into the workforce, how you feel comfortable. So we are here to assist you with all of these things. And all you have to do is just stop by our office, which is across the street. It's on 5th Avenue across the street from the Student Center, or you can always call or email.
Kristen, I'm grateful to everyone on this panel, but I directly benefit from the hard work you guys do. My own son has met with one of your colleagues to put together a resume and seek out an internship, but basically to come up with a bigger plan. He knew kind of what he wanted his major to be, but he wasn't 100% sure how to get from there to a job. And he's only a freshman. And so at first he was thinking, oh, I'll wait a couple years, but no, this is the time to have that conversation, to strategize, make good decisions. I also know that every single student we've sent over to you all, and we sent a lot over there, they all come back raving about how great you guys are. And you're right, the sample CV resume that you give out, I've seen that template. It's a great template. And what's amazing is that you work with students to populate that template with valuable experiences that they may not realize they had. They may have been part of a club that they were active in, but they don't think to translate that to skills on the rest. So I love what you guys do. And I love the fact that we look after our students. We don't just look after their well-being here. We're looking ahead. We, as much as their mom, dads, grandparents wanted to succeed, so do we. We're like right in that cheering section with them. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you do.
Of course, thank you.
I'm gonna go skip to our final question, FAM. So this one applies to my office. FAM stands for, oh my goodness gracious, fried apple marshmallows, free automatic makeup. I could use that. Funny and magical friend at Marshall peer mentoring program. So I think the answer to this one's pretty obvious. And the person who has the answer is me. This is my office's program. Yes, in fact, the answer is, it stands for friend at Marshall peer mentoring program. Here we go. So from the minute your student, your child, they're my students, but your children. From the minute your child gets to campus, he or she or they already have a FAM, friend at Marshall, ready to help them through the freshman year. This is our peer mentoring program. It's in its second or third, it's going to be in its third year next year. It puts every freshman in contact with a caring sophomore, junior, or senior to help them get adjusted to campus, answer any questions they might have, and point them to any resources they might need. These are some of my favorite FAMs from this year. This is just we have 30 FAMs. This is just, and I could fill up screenshot after screenshot. These are the 4 that I work with most closely this year. FAMs check in with their freshmen on a weekly basis by email, by text, by phone, or in person, basically whatever the freshman prefers. They help us with all sorts of things. We find out students who can't afford textbooks this way. We have a way to fix that. We find out students who are struggling to make friends. We have a way to fix that. They also support students through things like homesickness and more serious things like heartache. You know, it's not unusual for a student to go to college, come back home, breaking up with their high school sweetheart. And we see that a lot, and it's so hard. But a lot of the way we hire FAMs, we hire students who face challenges themselves and have the heart and willingness to be there for a younger version of themselves. So these are some of the FAMs that I work with most closely this year. They are amazing. They're in our office all the time. And they will be there for your children. And they love what they do. They truly are, it's a vocation. They truly feel called to do this work. So with that in mind, I'm going to stop my screen share and look at the comments and see what questions that you all might have. I see that the chat's been pretty active, and I suspect, Jean Ann, that you're going to be up because here we go. We got a question from Ella. So Ella, this is a pretty specific question, I think. Well, let me go ahead and Ella, let me go ahead and unmute you, or if you could do that for me, Ryan. Ella, do you? It looks like you have a question. Whoops.
Yeah, this is Ella's dad, actually.
Okay.
She's from the Philippines originally. She came on a K2 visa. She still has an adjustment status, so she doesn't have a social security number. And since she has a social security number, she can't do a FACET. And because she doesn't have a FACET, she can't do a promise. What can she do for scholarship and for money for school?
So what I sent back, I did respond to your question. What I sent back is I asked her to for her to contact me, but she is also available for any of our merit scholarships as long as she falls into the GPA.
Well, she's a 3.7 right now, so
she should fall into one of those merit scholarships. Now, depending on how they have admitted her admission status as resident or a non-resident,
well,
that's the next
for 2 years.
Huh?
She's lived in West Virginia for 2 years.
So she should be, I'm assuming, a resident.
Yes.
Then she would be eligible for the ones that we have on that screen.
Oh, okay.
Now, but if they admit her as an international student, then that may be something else, but she still can have some scholarship money, and you can look at the non-resident. I'm just giving you the vice versa. I don't
All
deal
right.
with residents.
Sounds good. All right. Well, I'll be contacting you this week sometime.
Okay, I will be in the office.
All right. Thank you.
And seriously, like that's the best thing to do. That's the best thing to do. So many financial aid over the years, I've seen how the specifics are amazing, like from student to student. Although this sounds like a particularly interesting case, and so maybe some congratulations are in order on your family expanding. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing, for being willing to share your daughter with us. Skylar, it looks like you have a question for financial aid as well. I see it in the Q&A part, and I'm not very good at the technology here, but it looks like Skylar Brown, you have a question about SAT and scholarships.
Yes, ma'am. So I was wondering, because of COVID and everything, and I know that Marshall's test optional and all that stuff, for the merit scholarships, is the SAT part changing at all, or is it still those requirements regardless?
There's a Get Started scholarship, and let me pull this up so I can tell you about that, okay? Sorry, I should have been prepared for that. Sorry about that.
My preparation for this consisted of cleaning just this corner of the room. Over there, you don't want to look.
Well, that's okay. They were working on the roof and on Main, and I didn't know what you all were going to hear when you unmuted me.
I'm in quarantine, so I couldn't go to the office to do this. I was like, oh, but so.
I'm looking, I'm sorry. It'll be a few seconds here.
Well, and while you're looking, we can come back to that because we have also a question about housing, sorority housing.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how, so Jean Ann, when you're ready, just kind of like raise your hand and I'll make sure that we come back to you.
Okay.
So sorority housing, I'm not sure who to toss this question to because Keisha, so that's not really you guys at all. And there might
It's
be
not,
someone...
but I can answer.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Please do.
Yeah, so there's actually a couple of questions. So I wanted to address, it says, does a Metro freshman student have to stay in the residence halls? To determine if you have to be in the residence halls is based on the driving miles to campus. So if you put your address in, Google and send the, from Google to Marshall's campus, if it is less than 50 driving miles, you can be released from the residency requirement, as long as that student is staying with their parent or legal guardian. Being released doesn't mean then go get an apartment. And I just want to make sure people understand that because we've had students who have done that and then they get caught in the middle of needing to have a room on campus and also paying for a lease and trying to get out of one or the other. So please don't do that. It's 50 driving miles from campus. As far as sorority housing goes, we do offer a few Greek exemptions to the Office of Greek Affairs, that they determine, and the different sorority houses determine who gets those Greek exemptions. Those are not normally given to freshman students, though. That is something that would be provided to sophomores and above. So once you rush for a sorority and are admitted into that sorority, then students should talk to that sorority about Greek exemptions and if they're eligible for that. That's based on a sorority and fraternity case-by-case scenario. So while we offer the exemptions to the Greek office is the one who's in charge of giving them out.
Okay, thank you. Does that answer the question for the question that was posted? If it doesn't, just go ahead and let us know in the chat that you still have additional questions. Thanks for knowing that. Gina, any luck?
Oh, I have it. I'm sorry. I just pulled it up.
Great.
So so there's test optional for residents. It's based on GPA. Okay. So if you have a high school GPA of 4.2, you get 3,500. If you have a high school GPA of 3.8 to 4.19, you get 2,500, and so on. Skylar, probably what you want to do is just contact the office and we can look and see what you're eligible for. It's based on whatever's in the admissions office. We take it from when you're admitted to the university, we bring over that information from the admissions office, your ACT, your SAT, your GPA, and that's how we award you. Okay.
Okay.
So there is a test optionals there because people have not been able to take the ACT or SAT, but once you take it, you know, of course you see that that's higher money with the ACT and SAT scores, okay?
Okay. Do you guys take the, I'm assuming, because I've taken it several times, you guys take my best one, correct?
We take the high, yes, we recalculated, yes. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
In fact, Skylar, my daughter's, a couple years ago, she's a junior now, my daughter's funding increased after she took it, and then she took it again. And like, we didn't do anything. We just got a nice note saying, like, all of a sudden her aid was more, her scholarship was more. She was qualified for another thing. So yeah, that's a great question. There's a comment in the chat, and I totally can relate to this. We see this all the time, and it's a terrible consequence of COVID. I see a comment: as a father, my salary is half of what it was in 2019. Jean Ann, we know that happens, right?
We do. So when you filled out the free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA, you use your 2019 income. Of course, things have changed, so you have to work with the financial aid office. We have what we call an income reduction appeal that you have to provide documentation to the office. You might want to go out to our website and look at that. It's www.marshall.edu/SFA for student financial aid, and it's income adjustment, okay? And you can use either your actual tax return for 2020 that you're just getting ready to file, or you can do an estimated year for 2021.
And I know that whenever we ask y'all to fill out additional forms, it's kind of, I can almost see like the energy go out. And like, we all hate asking you to do that, but please do it, because it is so worth it. We've had students who've actually thought they had to withdraw because their parents' income went down. They literally did not have the money to do it. I promise you, financial aid, like they absolutely strategize around what to do to help individual students. And once you fill that out, amazing things can happen. So all of us hate filling out forms, and we feel so bad asking fellow parents to do that, because like, you need to do another thing that you have to do. But please do that. Get in touch with the financial aid office. They are great about answering your questions. And if your child has difficulty filling out forms, this is not so much, I guess, right now because they're still pre-enrollment, but once your child is here, any form on campus that they have to fill out that they're nervous about doing themselves, they can come to the Office of Student Success. Half my day is filling out forms for other kids, and which is funny because when my kids need a form filled out, guess who doesn't know anything? So it's, I cannot convince my children that I actually know what I'm doing. But we have not only I, but like my unit. We spend a lot of time basically showing students how to advocate for themselves, to go through the proper steps so that things work out for them. Because sadly, that's life. That's life beyond college. You got to learn how to play the game, do the paperwork, red tape, bureaucracy, whatever. But all that said, we understand when we ask you to fill out yet another form, especially about something as sad as losing half your salary, that's not fun. We get that, and we're sorry that we have to ask you to do that, but we promise you it's worth it. It's totally worth it.
Can you give me a call? Is it Ricky? Ricky White, is that what? Can you give me a call, Ricky, next week, and we can look and see the difference between the salaries to make sure before you do all that paperwork, let me see what it's going to do for you. Okay.
Yeah, and Jean Ann, I'm thinking maybe even Poland, we can use a Poland fund to close the gap.
You can do that in my, and the number is 304-696-3162, and ask to speak to me, please.
Did you get that, Ricky?
I can. 304-696-3162, and ask to speak to Jean Ann.
I think, I see some more questions. Oh, okay. Good. Okay, great. I think as far as I can tell, we've addressed, I think, Ryan, unless you see something that I'm missing, because again, I'm really bad at this part of this. I think we may be done with questions, but I do have a request, and I don't know if this is possible, if you have the technology, if this is even possible, but I would be so grateful if each of you was to turn your camera on just for a second. Just like, I would love to see you. I'm going to see you on campus. I'm going to read your names at graduation. Guess what? I'm one of the people who reads the names at graduation. And I live with these names from the very beginning. If you have the capacity to turn on a camera, and you may not, maybe we set it up this way that you can't. So if you can't, you can't. That's okay. But if you can, you can flick it on for a second. I would love to see you. And it looks like probably you can't. Well, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up. Feel free to reach out to any of us. We will send a copy of this PowerPoint I will send it to Mr. Cooley's office to forward to all of you, so that you have our contact information and know who to ask. The biggest takeaway from us is that we genuinely care about you. I know it sounds so sappy, but it's so true. We genuinely care about you. We can't wait to meet you. Good luck in making this decision on college. It is never easy. God bless you in your future endeavors. Reach out if you have any questions, and take care. Have a great rest of the weekend. Very nice to meet you all.
It's good to see you all again. I hope that it has not been excessively long, and I hope that your experience today has been of some educational value. But I mostly hope that it has stimulated our juniors and seniors to give serious consideration about coming to Marshall University. I certainly look forward to meeting and seeing all of you. Of course, in addition to the virtual experience, I would strongly suggest that each one of you should consider coming down for a real life, live experience visit to Marshall University. And if you want to do that, you can contact our Welcome Center and they can arrange that for you as well. Please note, my name again is Maurice Cooley. I want you to write down my email, which is Cooley, C-O-O-L-E-Y, at marshall.edu. I am here every day. You can correspond with me on any day. I generally respond to my emails just about every day. I am here as a resource person for you, as a problem solver. And if things that you need to know that I don't know, I will make sure that you get the appropriate information and the person to follow up that will assist you with that. Please be reminded again that now that you have finished watching the virtual experience, to go to www.marshall.edu/intercultural, go to forms, and you will see a drop-down link for an attendance verification form. It's really easy. It takes about 30 seconds. Complete that form and send that. It arrives right here to my computer. Then I will follow up with you and I will know who attended. To close, I will give you a good example. My son, who's in his early 20s, and my daughter, who's just a few years older, Luke and Mackenzie, they're both Marshall graduates. They both live in New York City. Luke works for Microsoft as a UX researcher, and my daughter Mackenzie is an attorney for Viacom CBS. They're just Marshall students. They grew up here in town. They could have elected to go to some of the finest universities in the country, but they chose to attend Marshall. They would not be where they are and have what they have today had it not been for Marshall. Marshall got them to where they are, and Marshall will get you where you are. I look forward to meeting you. Please correspond with me freely as you can, either students and parents or both. And God bless you. Talk to you soon.